Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, students first reported seeing the flags and immediately reported to police early Saturday morning. And Heath Department of Public Safety, they say that they removed it and they responded very quickly after it was first reported just before 7 a.m. early Saturday morning. Now, Rockwall-Heath High School is located less than a mile away from Heath DPS, but that didn't stop the criminal activity as well. Now, the flags were found on the east side of the building around 7 a.m. Saturday morning. It's not clear exactly what the flags look like, but police described them as anti-Semitic. Todd Bradford, the school's principal, sent a letter to parents saying the district and police were working together to find out who is responsible. He says they'll be held accountable for the unacceptable behavior. He asked anyone with information to contact Heath DPS, and we're going to have that information on our website at fox4news.com. Meantime, school is resuming this morning. It still plans to resume at Rockwall-Heath High School. For Good Day, I'm Ticia Muzinga.
Yeah, Brandon, this is a rare and sweeping show of diplomatic force as the Ukrainian leader is hoping to show President Trump today that there is a united front against Russia. The European leaders were left out of President Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin last Friday in Alaska. Zelenskyy says he does not know what was discussed during that meeting, but he continues to call for a ceasefire in the 3.5-year war. The European allies' renewed support comes amid the growing concerns that Ukraine could be forced into a peace deal brokered just by the U.S. and Russia.
It's impossible to do this under the pressure of weapons. So it's necessary to cease fire and work quickly on a final deal.
Europe has been at Ukraine's side, united, and we will support you for as long as it takes.
The European heads of state, including France and Britain, hope today's group meeting will help avoid another Oval Office blowout after Zelenskyy and President Trump's previous meeting in February turned into a sparring match. And today, leaders are expected to consider possible NATO-like security guarantees that Ukraine would need for any peace with Russia to be durable. At Friday's summit, Putin agreed that the U.S. and European allies can offer Ukraine that security guarantee as part of an eventual deal to end the war. Brandon.
All right, Shannon, thanks. Leaders of the nation's capital are resisting a federal takeover, both in the courts and on the streets.
Friday, a lawsuit was filed to stop President Trump's takeover of the Metropolitan Police Department. Justice Department reached an agreement with the city, giving the city's police chief control for now. Hundreds more National Guard troops are said to be on their way to D.C. as more protests are planned. Federal takeover scheduled to last 30 days, but President Trump has suggested he would extend it.
Yes, good morning, Lauren. The governor's new agenda is pretty much the same as the last one. It lists flood recovery and relief efforts for the Texas Hill Country, or priorities that were previously overshadowed by redistricting. Now, the House is set to have a quorum to conduct business this special session, when the last special session shifted towards President Donald Trump's priority to redraw congressional districts to add more GOP seats. House Democrats fled the state. They ultimately blocked the vote for moving forward, and the last session ended without any legislation passing through. One state lawmaker who left Texas to go to Chicago spoke to a congregation about the importance of the redistricting vote.
2,000 years ago, when the powerful few abused the many, that barefoot rabbi walked into the seat of power and flipped over the tables of injustice. To those who love democracy, to those who love our neighbors, it's time to start flipping tables.
At least 100 lawmakers must be present for the lower chamber to have a quorum. This time around, Democrats signaled they'd return if the previous session ended, and California released a plan to redraw its districts to counteract Texas's new Republican seats, both of which happened. Democrats also mentioned taking the redistricting issue to court if the maps pass through the legislature. Now, the governor's agenda also includes marijuana regulations and eliminating the STAR test. The Texas House is scheduled to gavel into session at noon today, and we will continue to keep you updated. Reporting live in Dallas, I'm Peyton May for Good Day.
Scottie Scheffler continues to dominate on the PGA Tour.
He took the top spot at the BMW Championship in Maryland this week, and Paige Ellenberger's been following this. She joins us in the studio. Good to see him win again.
I mean, it's quite often that we see Scottie winning again with the hardware, right? And he entered the final round 4 shots back this weekend, but by the end, there was just no stopping him. He made that pretty clear on hole number 17.
Look at Scheffler. Can you believe what you just saw?
Seriously?
Seriously, yeah, it was the nail in the coffin.
He hit it the exact amount of speed, like, okay.
82 feet, by the way. Yeah, I mean, nail in the coffin at play at Caves Valley Golf Club in Maryland. Scottie in the thick rough and on a slope. He made it look really easy as he chips in for birdie. Cheers erupted from the stands as his toughest competition this weekend, Scotland's Robert McIntyre. He was left stunned. He finished the day at 13 under, 2 strokes behind Scottie, who wrapped things up with a par on the 18.
You know, when that chip goes in, you know it's a pretty cool shot, but the job's not nearly finished after that. You know, Bob could just as easily chip his in, and you don't know what's going to happen. So, got to stay focused, and did a good job hitting the fairway and the green there on 18, and give myself a pretty stress-free par.
Other pro athletes like Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes weighing in on the incredible performance, posting on X, quote, "Scottie is crazy." A lot of people on the social media site compared the whole 17 shot to something Tiger Woods would do in his prime, which isn't too far off. This was Scottie's 5th win this season. He accomplished the same feat last year on the tour as well. The last person to have done that, by the way, you probably guessed it. Yep, Tiger back in 2005. I think the commentator said it best. Can you even believe what you just saw? I mean, from 82 feet back in the thick rough on a slope on one of the hardest holes on that course.
I mean, you're just hitting a ball
sinks it.
in a hole. That's all.
And his
How hard
face,
can that be?
Right. His face, he's like, oh, it in. Okay. Okay. And then you see him kind of turn, and then you get a smile.
Right.
It's like.
And in the press conference, he said, you know, we practiced that hole and we thought we'd at least get it close to the pin, but we never thought it would go in the hole. But hey, here we are, and we're taking it day by day. He's a humble man.
Golfers that day were having a lot of trouble with that hole.
Oh, yeah.
So to have him do that.
Well, and McIntyre was in the rough, too, in a pretty similar position. And watching Scottie do that, you're like, do I drop the club now and give it up?
Just
I don't know. Yeah, right? Yeah. What can you do?
Thanks, Paige.